In America, at least 2,500 black people go missing every year. At least. Never to be found again, not killed enough, you just don't find them again. Why doesn't that number ever go down? How can you constantly have the same amount of people? Are you trying to say the same killers go out and murder the same amount of people every year? No. Somebody is taking black people off the street. There's been stories on this. Kidnapped by the government. Kidnapped by organ traffickers.
Drive-by shootings is organ stealing.
I'm worth $50 million and I need a kidney. You know, kidneys are pretty sensitive. You got to find somebody who really got the kidney that matches yours. You think I'm going to wait till somebody die for me to get one? If I don't get one soon, I'm going to die. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay somebody to go research people. Okay, let's go look at all the black organ donors. Let's look at all the black people who got organ donor on their driver's license, which is why I'm not a friend of that. I say, if you want to donate your organs, put it in your will. Say that if I die, this can go to my family, my relatives, my friends, or whomever. But when you put it on your license, I believe you make yourself a public target. And so what did they find? We got a guy in Los Angeles. He has the same blood type as you, same kidney type as you likely. He healthy though. He ain't likely to die no time soon. He don't know you, so he ain't going to give you no organ for free. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to arrange a murder that makes it look like he was in a car accident. We're going to arrange a murder that makes it look like he committed suicide. So the next thing you know, you coming out the gas station, boom, you get hit by a Mack truck. You dead, gone.
Umar Johnson here makes it seem like black people are the only people that ever come up missing, and that 2,500 black people a year are kidnapped and killed for their body parts. But USA Today reports that the FBI's National Crime and Information Center says that on average there's 90,000 people missing in the USA at any given time. And that's out of 340 some odd million. And it also reports that 27,676 of those are black. And it's not just 2,500 blacks that are disappearing. It also says that there's 47,254 whites that come up missing each year. And by far, it says that each year there's more than 750, there's on average 750,000 missing cases filed. And obviously most of these get reported, some of them don't. Some people want to disappear, and you just cannot say that people are disappearing and being used in organ trafficking without some kind of examples. You know, you just can't make the claim. And also think about how hard it would be to set someone up, for a rich person to set someone up to die in a car wreck. He made the claim that you come out of the store and boom, you get hit by a truck and you get killed and you're gone. Well, think about how difficult the logistics of that would be, to actually have enough people on the road, going up and down the road, to meet you just coming out of the driveway at the right time to hit you and to kill you. And if you get hit, who's to say you're going to die? And so this proposition is really absurd on the face of it.
You get taken to the funeral home. Your family comes to the funeral. They don't know that before your body got laid to rest, a little hole was poked and they pulled your kidney out.
A lot of people don't know, when you get arrested or even when you get convicted, a lot of times law enforcement or police will swab your mouth for DNA. And now they have your DNA record on file, they have your genetic information on file. And you have to understand, with law enforcement, a lot of times they'll sell your information to tabloids and, like, especially celebrities, they sell their information to tabloids and magazines and news outlets all the time. So it's not a stretch to believe that they won't use your DNA or your genetic information for nefarious reasons.
You, my son, cops come by and inform me you just been shot dead. You don't have jurisdiction over that body. That's the coroner. You can't get that body till the coroner release you. So we get released, we go down and pick it up, and I see all these cuts and these stitches. I just thought they was doing a routine investigation following the fact. I didn't know they took your organs. I'm under all this stress. My son is dead. Now you buried now. I can't dig you up because the court got to have permission. Most of those cases is organ stealing.
It's been known for a long time, even back in slavery times, that black organs were considered superior genetically to other folks' organs. For example, whenever there's a transplant, okay, especially when rich folks get heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney transplant, they like black organs. We had a famous case in Pennsylvania, Governor Casey, who was one of the most racist governors who ever lived back in the late 80s, early 90s. He had a heart transplant. Guess whose heart they gave him? A black person's heart.
It is true that Governor Robert Casey from Pennsylvania did get a heart transplant, and it was from a black guy, a 37-year-old murder victim. But because the black guy's name has not been released, I could not find out whether if his murderer had been found, charged, convicted, or what was the situation with that. But according to what had been said previously in this video, the implication is that because Governor Kasich is rich, then he might have had this black person killed, but that's very illogical. I could not find anyone on the internet making this claim at all, not even any pro-black sites. There was controversy surrounding the heart transplant, is that Governor Casey did not have to go and get on a waiting list and wait for years like most people have to. Whenever he got sick, he got put on the list, and within hours later, he had, I think like 4 hours later is what I read, he got that heart transplant, and it turned out to work well for him. But the idea that Governor Casey might have had someone killed for his heart, that implication is just totally absurd. We do not know this. It's not a big deal that a white man got a black person's heart for a transplant. Just like it's no big deal that a black person gets a white person's heart for a transplant. Concerning the idea that rich people and white people are having blacks killed for their quote unquote superior organs, you should know that the U.S. Library of Medicine National Institutes of Health did a study called The Effect of Race Upon Organ Donation and Recipient Survival in Liver Transplantation. This study was done, quote, to determine the outcome of transplantation of these livers across racial groups, unquote. And the study says it, quote, clearly demonstrates that there is no effect on transplant survival where an organ is transplanted between the races. Thus, race is not a factor in assessing whether a given recipient might benefit from a given donor organ. So it is not any better for a white person or a black person to get a liver for transplant from a black person rather than a liver from a white person. Also, an article at MedPageToday.com entitled Race Matching No Help in Heart Transplant Survival says that Johns Hopkins Medical Institution did a study of 20,185 heart transplant patients over a 10-year period to determine why blacks, quote, do significantly worse after heart transplant than Caucasians, unquote. The study said it is, quote, not because they are getting racially mismatched organs, unquote. It also said that, quote, matching hearts and recipients on the basis of race did nothing to alter the odds of survival in any ethnic or racial group, unquote. So blacks did no better with black donated organs than they did with white donated organs. The study says directly, quote, it does not matter whether a white, black, Hispanic, or Asian donor heart is transplanted into a patient of any other particular race. The study did not find out why black heart transplant recipients do worse than other races, saying the issue needs to be further studied. But it did conclude that black people's hearts are not any better for organ transplants than the donor hearts of any other racial group. So we see with both hearts and liver studies that black hearts and livers are not genetically superior or more desired than the hearts and livers of any other race.